Hey, everybody, welcome back to the VIP Financial Education YouTube channel, where we discuss essentially how to get the best of the banks. And in today's video, I want to get right into how a home equity line of credit retired me. I actually did another one of these videos about 2 years ago, where I shared how it was I was traveling all over the US in an RV full time, seeing everything this beautiful country has to offer, and how I did that by using a home equity line of credit to purchase a short-term rental property that started producing between $80,000 and $90,000 every year, while still giving me the opportunity to use the property for between 5 to 7 months of the year personally. It was a total lifestyle asset for me. It was remarkable. I'll put the link in the description for that video. You can check that one out as well, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Today, what I want to talk about is how a similar tool, another home equity line of credit, which is just one of many tools that we discuss on this channel, many of which would have worked for a similar process to this, how a $50,000 sum was able to retire me again. Now, I consider retirement a way of earning revenues that exceed the cost of the lifestyle that I want to live, meaning I have the freedom of gaining my time back. I earn my time back. I get to do what I want. I get to do it wherever I choose. I can leave places when I want to. I can stay places as long as I want to. And I really don't have to worry about the price tags of living how I want to. So that's how I would define, financial independence. And ultimately, those two income streams have each given me the opportunity to do that independently of one another. But I do believe that diversifying your income streams is very, very important. I learned that very young in my early 20s, as I'm sure you have at this point as well, because things can change. What happens if the short-term rental market adjusts, as it has many times for many people around the country, and I'm no longer able to earn what I want to from that property? Well, I would be in trouble if I didn't have other income streams. So I'm always looking for new opportunities and things I can get involved with that excite me. Long story short, I was able to start a business with a business partner. I was invited to be the financial investor in that business. And it essentially started very slowly, and over time, over the past 2 years, has done quite well. Now, I usually like to wait to bring things to you guys until I actually get proof of concept. I want to see the results in order to discuss it here on the channel, because I don't want to come in and start talking about something only to discover that it really wasn't a good idea and probably shouldn't have been shared. And God forbid somebody on the channel started to do it and wasted some of their time and or money. In this case, what I was able to do was commit a $50,000 investment into a hydrojetting and drain scoping company. So basically, I'm in the sewer business. As much as I would have laughed in your face if you had suggested that that would be something I would be getting involved with just a few years ago. And here I am in December of 2020 with the opportunity to make a decision very quickly as to whether or not I wanted to participate. Now, it was extremely easy for me, with absolutely no experience in any type of service-based business, to determine that here's an industry that's very essential. It doesn't matter what type of a problem the world is going through, like the pandemic. They're not going to shut down people's ability to call in tradesmen that come and fix a problem like a clogged drain, especially if it's backfilling into your bathtub or something. God forbid you've got a mess on your hands. And believe me, we've seen the worst of it at this point. It's obviously going to be very difficult for any type of artificial intelligence to replace that type of industry. It's one of those services that you can charge a lot for, especially if you're quick and you're good at it and you're very clean. You provide great customer service. So for us, just through some very basic check marks in my mind, I'm thinking this could be a very, very good business. The next thing I want to do is really kind of hit my prerequisites. Is this something that I can do to cater to my lifestyle? Because I do want to have the geographical mobility I described at the top of this episode. Was it something I could still do remotely? And then secondly, was it something that had the earnings potential that I really want to see, which is in excess of 7 figures a year? Could I scale this out, potentially expand into other areas, build the team, add new equipment, vehicles, and so forth? And short answer to both of those questions was also yes. So the last thing I wanted to make sure I looked at was my risk, right? I do tend to have a bit higher risk tolerance than maybe some people because I'm not married. I don't have kids. So I don't have these other mouths to worry about feeding. My parents have managed to retire, middle class earning family. They're not wealthy, but they've, managed to secure retirement for themselves. My brothers are both very intelligent. They've done very well financially with their professions too. So my extended family, nieces and my nephew are also going to be taken care of. Really, I just have to worry about me, which means I can take chances that other people might not be able to. But I still want to make sure that I'm operating in a slightly conservative way. I may have a higher risk tolerance, but I still am ultimately quite conservative when it comes to money. I don't like to lose money. And I've determined that if I were to put this $50,000 in for a 50% ownership in this business, that with a fairly limited commitment of my time, and I didn't know at the time what that was going to require, I could probably protect all but maybe $10,000 of this in this initial investment. So I went ahead and moved forward with the partnership agreement, and I launched this business with my business partner, Travis. All right, so what I want to do is just kind of show you the outcome of this business so far, and then I'm going to circle back in and kind of touch on some of the not so great aspects of running a business that's growing that you would consider to be successful, because there's a lot more to it than what meets the eye. If you were to just look at our performance over the last 2 years, you might be kind of impressed. In fact, I'm quite impressed already. You can see that our very first job started in January of 2021. We opened the company on my birthday, December 7th in 2020. And by February 24th, we were accepting gigs full time. So we had about 1 week or less than 1 week of February of 2021 where we were actually working for customers. You can see that in March, we had our first full month, which produced $5,801. Came close to doubling that, I guess 1.5 times that in April of 21. And then June, we had a breakout month, $34,623. Got us very excited about the potential of what we could do. We actually had a couple dig ups where we were replacing sewer mains, and we did that with some extra equipment rentals. You can see that the months tapered off slightly after that. Still some decent growth year over year. We ended up almost doubling in 2022 from 2021. But now I'm really excited to see where we've grown. Okay, if you look at just the last few months, let's take a look here at January of 2023. We've got, compared to January of 2022, a $42,649 revenue. January of 2022, we only made $8,850. I'm sorry, January of 2022. In December of 2022, we made $48,451. And in December of 2021, we made $9,414. We're right now averaging about 5x what we were doing just 1 year ago. We've already made $6,000 for the month. I'm recording this video right now on the 4th of this month. We do anticipate averaging around $100,000 per month this year. And we're looking to 4x what we did last year. We did just shy of $300,000 in revenue, and we're projecting now to do $1.2 million for 2023. And we're projecting to do as much as $3 million in 2024. And we have a clear-cut roadmap of exactly how that's done. Now, that all sounds great, right? And in a lot of ways, it really is, especially when you consider that my total time commitment on this business is about 100, maybe up to 150 hours per year. That's right, per year. 150 closer, probably closer to 150 in 2021, because my role in the beginning was getting the infrastructure set up. Things that you here on the channel could easily learn how to do. Again, I've never had any experience with any type of trade business, much less a sewer business. And so hiring tradesmen, hiring technicians, buying equipment. We recently purchased an excavator for ourselves. We've purchased several different vehicles at this point, some service vans, some trucks, a couple of enclosed trailers, a dump trailer. So a lot of things I've never done before. I have no experience in this field whatsoever, and neither did my business partner. My business partner did come from the plumbing industry, so he was not scared of excrement and things that might terrify the rest of us. And that was key. It was to find a really, really good partner to partner with, to team up with, that I could invest in. I invested more in him, or as much in him as I did the industry itself. And that is a huge takeaway for this video. But my total hourly commitment at this point is probably closer to about 100 hours per year after 2021, right? After getting the infrastructure, things like the website, this website, House Call Pro, which does virtually everything from the website to the merchant accounts, to tracking the numbers, to getting customer reviews, et cetera. It's sort of an all-in-one for $169 a month, I believe, to setting up our social media, to getting our banking set up, to setting up the tax ID number with the entity registration, getting our first round of credit set up so that we could have credit cards to function with and purchase various supplies and products, essentially getting the logo designed, getting the merchandise established, getting graphics put on the vehicles. All of that stuff was really, those are things that are easy that I came in and really helped Travis with, things that he was not good at all. And even though I'm not necessarily exceptionally experienced with it, I'm comfortable going out and learning how to do it and asking the right questions of, YouTube University or Google or any of those places that any of us can find answers from. So it was a really wonderful partnership where the first 3 months required a lot of time from both of us. I was probably committing, 20 to 30 hours, maybe as many as 40 hours in a week. For those first few months, whatever was needed, I was there. But after those first few months, and once we got here to February and we started launching and really performing our tasks, our daily duties of getting in there and clearing people's drains, I kind of took a step back. And now at this point, I'm committing about 2 hours a week. I've got a meeting with the team on Fridays. And then throughout the week, Travis and I are interacting. I may be going in and doing some strategizing and planning for the business. Again, call it 150 hours a year. That's fine. Divide that by 40. I'm basically putting in 1 month's worth of work or less of full-time hours in a year. And essentially this business right now, if we jump over to the cash flow cruncher spreadsheet, you can see here that the current cost to have Travis and I, we're currently taking distributions here. And by the way, if you want your own cash flow cruncher, I use this spreadsheet for everything. When you download it by going to VIPfinancialed.com or just go to cashflowcruncher.com, download your own copy of this spreadsheet. You'll have a summary page here. Okay. And this is actually January's numbers that I'll go over with you. This is kind of the part where I want to get a little bit more nuanced with the video, but I just wanted to summarize on the front end for those of you that don't want to stick around till the end, just how powerful these types of tools can be. A $50,000 home equity line of credit allowed me to make this investment. I not only put the $50,000 in, but I took a $40,000 promissory note out from the business, meaning that the business was to repay 40 of it. And then I earned 50% ownership of the company with just that $10,000 seed capital left over. Now it's proactive, but it's certainly not full-time. This is by all means a side hustle for me at the moment. And we fully anticipate within the next 3 to 5 years, this business being between 5 to 10 million in total revenues. And we have a business plan that we believe will get us there. So when you download your cash flow cruncher, you can see it'll summarize everything. Okay. And when you jump to the, you've got revenue and assets, by the way, you've got debts and we've got everything down here. We've got a total of almost $500,000 worth of debt at this point in the business. And we're going to get into that. We've got personal expenses, which are none. And then we've got business expenses, which are plentiful. They're costing us right now a total of $34,924. And the top two here include Travis and myself of $6,000 per month as a monthly distribution. So I'm making $6,000 a month on money that I never had to put in on my own, right? Yes, I borrowed money and put it in. I took debt in my personal name to make the investment, but this is an infinite return because I didn't actually use my own capital to make the investment. This is the old Kiyosaki, other people's money philosophy here, right? Now, I know a lot of people here on this channel love real estate. I love real estate. I invest in real estate. I have properties. I have long-term and short-term properties. And then I have a short-term rental luxury property management company as well. And none of it compares to what I was able to do here. And so one of the other takeaways that I want you to get from this video is that it's important to remove the blinders, folks. People come in and they're so linear. I talk to so many of you and you're thinking to yourselves, I want to get into real estate investing. And really the only time that you're committing to studying and research is within the real estate space. And the truth is, if I had been so stuck in my own way, I would have missed the opportunity here because I would have never considered being in the sewer business before Travis presented me with this opportunity. And so this is a tremendous return. Let's go through these numbers here for last month, because while I'm taking home 6,000 and Travis is taking home 6,000, Travis putting in 60 to 80 hours a week, by the way, compared to my 2. That's the power of being the money person and having access to the debt weapons. The cash flow summary page, after all income, less expenses, less business expenses, as well as the costs of the debt servicing, leave only $2,000 for last month. Now, $2,000 was probably slightly higher than that because I've averaged on the business expenses page things that you will be putting on your business expenses page. This is one cash flow cruncher per financial ecosystem. So I have this cash flow cruncher for small town drain. I've got a personal household cash flow cruncher for my personal financial ecosystem. I've got a cash flow cruncher for my real estate. So I recommend separating your cash flow crunchers for each ecosystem. If it has income and it has expenses where you're then left with a net cash flow position, then it should probably have its own ecosystem where I'm not trying to blend everything into one spreadsheet, okay? But there are things on here that are being averaged. We did not spend, for instance, in January, $500 on tires. But I do know, given that we now have multiple vehicles, that tires are going to be an important thing that we have to factor into our budgeting. This leaves us $6,000 a year for tire replacements on our vehicles and our trailers. $250 worth of vehicular registration. I don't pay $250 every single month, but this allows for $3,000 worth of registrations per year. Vehicular repairs. We don't repair the vehicles every single month. While it does get more and more common, the more vehicles you have on the road, this is also, again, an average that we're anticipating for the year. So some of these are going to be averaged and others are going to be actual. And you can sort of distinguish those for yourself as you look through here. Food costs are actuals at $283. House Call Pro, again, $169. Those are actuals. So when you go to the cash flow summary, this is probably slightly higher for January than it really demonstrates on the spreadsheet, but that's because we're budgeting ahead for those other types of expenses. So $2,000, not a lot, especially when you have $500,000 worth of debt. But let's ask ourselves this. First of all, is it factually $2,000? No, it's not, because if you factor in the point that we are each taking $6,000 distributions, there's actually an additional $12,000 here of cash flow that we are benefiting from immediately. Furthermore, on our debts, the debt servicing also includes some of the principal. For example, this Kubota credit. This is actually for our excavator. And this Kubota credit is an $1,850 principal only cost each month. That's an interest only loan, 0%. Okay. I'm sorry, principal only loan. It's a 0% interest. And so therefore, this is all going towards the actual value of the Kubota. Now, it is a depreciating asset, but once it's free and clear, we'll still have a value to it, much like all of these. None of these vehicles are personal. These are all part of the business, but we've taken on quite a significant amount of financial debt now, $300,000 of which was a private venture capital loan. Now, this loan is at 10%, but it does not come with any equity. It's also unsecured, if you can believe that. Once we were able to demonstrate a year and a half of really positive results up until August of 2022, we were performing well, seeing consistent growth. As you can see, we went to friends and family and we were able to present this. And because of our credibility and our reputation that we had been developing in the community, and because of the numbers that we were able to demonstrate, as well as a business plan, we were able to secure this $300,000 loan, which allowed us to buy significantly more equipment. You go to our revenue and assets page, and you'll see here that we have essentially $94,000 still in the bank. We've got all of these assets now, and these are current market values. This is the used market value of $213,950. So we have $308,000 worth of assets still available. If we had to sell the machinery and pay off this debt, we could. And we've also already started paying off some of these items, including the Sheffield Diamond trailer. This is now paid to zero. So this payment has now gone away. And if you take a look at our projections moving forward, this is where we're at for the year. $100,000 worth of revenue, because we're currently in slow season, which means that as we continue to gain traction throughout the year and we hit the busy season, if we continue to 5x our results year over year, we will begin to see numbers that exceed $200,000 in a month. And we believe that we will hit this $1.2 million this year. This would leave us a $30,791 net cash flow. And this is also taking into consideration that there is a distribution still going out to both Travis and myself of $6,000 a piece. The expenses are substantially more. You can see our business expenses grow to $62,861 once we're hitting those $100,000 numbers versus the current $42,000 numbers. So expenses tend to double here because we're bringing on a lot more contractor help. We're bringing on additional equipment. We're leasing more equipment. There's more repairs. You can see, again, the average for tires is still the same, but our gasoline expenses would go up. Auto insurance increases. Business and equipment expenses also go up. Then we would also be transferring some of our technicians into employment status, where there's then going to be payroll costs. There's going to be bonuses included, as well as some benefits that we're going to be including. So expenses drastically increase, but so does our net cash flow position, whereby this $30,791 allows us to pay off a vast majority of the debts that we currently would have of $467,000. It would leave us roughly, call it $100,000, $110,000 of debt remaining if there are some unexpected expenses on here that come up throughout the year that just ended up being missed on this projection. So these debts would be essentially paid down to $100,000 by the end of the year, leaving then about 2 months, maybe 3, where our production is at that point of being able to satisfy the remainder of this debt. And at that point, we can just wash, rinse, and repeat. We can literally go out, utilize another $500,000 worth of leverage, get twice the amount of equipment and vehicles, twice the number of team members, and basically stamp this one more time to where we're now at $200,000 worth of revenue. And while it might seem like our net cash flow position would also double, it would actually be more than that, because our gross cash flow represents what we will be able to keep after all of our expenses are paid. But once all of the debt has been satisfied, this number represents your average cash flow at the end of each month once you no longer have any debt. So the goal is to pay all the debt off, which would leave $37,000, but then we would end up with another $30,791 by just replicating this with essentially twice as much of everything. And that would then leave approximately $67,000 in total net cash flow, which then gives us the opportunity to pay that $500,000 worth of debt off much more quickly. Soft projection here, somewhere around 8 months, I would guess. $500,000 divided by 67,000, 7.46 months. So that's some pretty exciting stuff, folks. We're very much looking forward to where this is headed. The point I'm trying to make with you is that you don't necessarily need to go out there and start your own sewer business, but keep your options open and have the resources available. Make sure you understand what your lifestyle objectives are so that you can quickly qualify a business opportunity. Does it have the potential to earn the minimum that you require to make it worth your time? Again, I won't consider anything that doesn't at least have the potential to earn at least 7 figures per year. I'm really looking for things that can scale practically on an unlimited basis with no upside capacity. And I recommend you adopt that same philosophy, because if you're focusing the same amount of time and often similar amounts of money on projects that only have the maximum potential of, say, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, as you could investing the same type of time and probably similar types of money into things that could earn you 10 times that amount or even 100 times that amount, why would you choose the former? Why would you choose the smaller? I think it's very important that you really set big, hairy, audacious goals, and you'll be extremely surprised by what you can accomplish if you don't set these predetermined limits on yourself. These are often limits that we adopt as children. And frankly, it's hogwash. This is why there's so many people out there making so much more money than you, is because they don't have these same limits established to themselves. So get after it. Set yourself up with the debt weapons. Watch the videos in the description below. I'll go ahead and post some videos for you so that you can check it out. And then be on the lookout for various opportunities. We talk about some of the best opportunities here on this channel that cost similar amounts of money, that take similar amounts of time, that are all but passive, that can produce ridiculous amounts of income for you. Okay. So this is something that I can literally do and afford 100% of my lifestyle at the moment. And it was all because of a home equity line of credit. Guys, if you like this video, please drop a like on it. Shout out to Small Town Drain and my partner, Travis. Amazing, amazing dude. And what a fun project. I'll continue to keep you guys in the loop on that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to continue to see great, amazing ways, including firsthand success stories that I'm able to experience and share with you. And until I see you on the next video, make it a great day today and keep on cash flowing. Take care.